Hey everyone, welcome to episode 41 of the Tiny Disc Podcast, a show about games and life. I'm Robert Scarpinito, and I'm joined here by the dark Jack Cepeda.
Arby's, me mateys.
And that's the end of the show. Thank you for listening.
I just learned that today.
This show is rated Arby's.
And we have the meat boy, Colin Sparling.
You know, listen. Oh, fucking hell, dude. I need a drink.
Oh, okay, you're actually taking a drink. Good.
Okay. But shout out, listen, and this kind of leads into my discussion, but shout out to my boy Tim Geddes from Kind of Funny. That motherfucker, over the span of while they record a podcast, if you ever watch any of their videos, at least their older ones, dude would go through about 6 or 7 different beverages throughout the span of one recording. Like, just drink, and it's just an immense amount of liquid. And so, like, his big thing for a while was Coke.
And Coke?
Right. Yeah, totally. And so dude would drink just like so much Coca-Cola, and he got to a point where he's like, fuck, dude, I can't drink all this Coke anymore. And this is what I wanted to talk to you guys about. He switched to, and now he's infamous for this now, drinking LaCroix water.
Ugh.
Do you mean this motherfucker?
Fuck you, Jack. You're fucking excommunicated from this fucking podcast.
No,
you're not allowed to be
wrong.
on the show
you're
anymore.
Fucking wrong, and I'm clipping because you're that wrong.
Okay, it's not
Dude,
fucking...
what do you have against LaCroix?
It's sparkling water.
It's
It's
like
the
drinking
choice of the millennial generation.
It's like drinking club soda, and then like someone in the other room shouts the name of the fruit, and all of a sudden you can kind of taste the fruit because you heard it. Like, that's what it tastes like.
Look,
Tastes like placebo effect.
yeah, now placebo flavored. Look, sparkling water is gross. I don't understand why people like it. It's not good. It doesn't feel good on the tongue to me.
I totally disagree. I don't know. I love it, guys. I always have LaCroix handy. It's always around. And here's the thing. So I'm from the Midwest originally. Like, I remember when it's just like some cheap like grandma thing, like keep it next to the Werther's Originals, right? And like the Rainbow Dustbusters. Like, I get it. Like, it's weird in Ohio, but I'm telling you, when you come down here, it's so ubiquitous. It's everywhere, and it's really cheap, and it's 0 calories, and it doesn't have aspartame in it, and it doesn't taste like, skunk butt. So people will get it.
I think you're wrong on that. It does taste like skunk butt.
I used to.
God.
It was an acquired taste. It took a while, and now that it's acquired, it's on. And now Coke is super like sweet and thick now. And I just had a Coke today too. So
Gross.
Well, some people are fucking crazy about LaCroix water. It's to the point with Tim now where they somehow, I don't know if they got it through sponsorship or whatever, but they just received 400 cases of LaCroix at their office. They had pallets upon pallets. They had to store them on the roof because they didn't have enough room for all this LaCroix water that was coming in.
That's so
and
crazy.
I just don't get it. Like, this dude, it's just I don't know. It's just carbonation, like slightly flavored carbonation with like, and it's not sweet whatsoever.
I think I'm thinking about this now. I think it's like the retreat. It's like the consequence of the retreat away from Diet Cola, from Diet Coke, Diet Pepsi. Like, that shit is pretty poison and cancer, and it's a carcinogen basically. So a lot of people, they want something that is like light, but they don't want Diet Coke anymore. At least I don't. I really try and stay away from Diet Coke as much as possible. So I think maybe that's a perception and what is like fueling that. But I get it. I think it's a regional thing because, like I said, down here it's like LaCroix is God, and like in Ohio, like it's like, what the fuck's that? Get away from me.
Well, the only rationale I can come up with in my head that makes sense is that like people are drinking this sparkling water after spending years upon years drinking pop or soda, whatever the hell you call it where you are. They call it Coke down in Texas. Fuck
I know. As I say,
I don't know. Why is everything Coke?
It's just Coke. You get a Coke. That green lemon lime can Coke.
Can I get a Sprite? you can get a Coke. No, motherfucker, I want a Sprite.
Hold on, not to go on too much tangent. I heard this really funny joke yesterday about this guy. He had like neck tattoos and face tattoos and just tattoos everywhere. And he talked about how every day he went to this 7-Eleven and he would drink a Mountain Dew. And he drank so much Mountain Dew that his name was the Mountain Dew guy. And he goes, "Do you have any fucking idea how much Mountain Dew I had to drink to not be called the throat tattoo guy?" It's like, that's a fucking lot of Mountain Dew.
I know where you got that joke from.
Oh, you know that guy?
Yeah, well,
you know
it was on
okay.
Reddit.
Oh, it probably was.
Yeah.
I live on Reddit. Yeah.
No, okay, but
Wow, Jack's now stealing jokes from Reddit.
So
oh boy.
I told you guys this is a joke. It's not my joke.
And to be fair, Redditors steal jokes from Reddit all the time. So it's
No,
whatever.
yeah, it's fine.
But-
I steal jokes from 4chan. It's fine.
So for me, whenever I see LaCroix in the store or at a supermarket, wherever, I always see enough that you could make a box fort out of it. Like you could fortify yourself.
yeah,
Yes.
there's a million flavors.
Yeah.
and
Yes,
and you could
it's
build
awesome.
a fucking throne and a half, if not more so,
Like-
at anywhere you see record.
Like I've never heard anyone say, "Help, I'm out of LaCroix."
It's so cheap. That's why, man. It's so cheap.
Well, I mean, that's the thing, though. I think it's those people that drank pop or soda or whatever for years, and they wanted to get away from that, and kind of like it's kind of like their, it's like their what do you use for when you try to get off cigarettes? It's like their nicotine patch,
It's the patch.
or like it's like their version of vaping.
I don't
to
know.
get
I just
off
like I like carbonation, you know, but I'm trying to do it without the calories. So.
I guess I can understand that. It makes a little weaning yourself off of pop a little bit easier.
Yeah, that does make more.
But-
Like, so LaCroix is the vaping of soda.
It's basically what it is.
Holy shit. I can't argue with that.
But can you do cool
As
tricks?
Jack hits his vape and takes a sip of LaCroix.
Can you do cool tricks with LaCroix though?
No comments.
Is it fizzy enough to do that? Remember when Coke and Mentos was a huge thing on the internet?
Oh yeah.
Can that happen with LaCroix? Is the chemical reaction still there?
I wonder if it's like one of the ingredients or it's just a carbonation, because I always see it with Coke or Pepsi. I can't
So
remember.
it's usually Diet Coke.
oh
Yeah,
Everyone says Diet Coke works the best.
Oh, it must. Okay, interesting. Yeah.
Might be all
Yeah.
those carcinogens exploding.
Dude, I mean, they have like fucking aspartame, dude. That shit is terrible for you.
Aspartame.
Aspartame.
I'm sorry. What?
Aspartame.
Like look in the
Aspartame? Are you talking about aspartame?
No. Aspartame. Look, it's an artificial sweetener. It's spelled
Dude.
what?
Has anyone ever told you that you say that word really fucking weird?
Wait, aspartame? Is that you-
Aspartame. Yes.
I've heard it pronounced.
aspartame.
Okay, if that's the case, then I've heard it
I
pronounced the
thought
other
you
way.
were like talking about like some Greek god or something like that.
Yeah, the Greek god
Aspartame.
Aspartame blessed every
Exactly.
bottle of Diet Coke in the
He
world.
sounds
I'm
like
I'm
someone who
Googling
he
this.
sounds like someone who helps Wonder Woman or some shit. Dude, holy fuck, this is awesome.
Yeah, I will every time that it's just the trend with me. It's like, dude, you've been saying that fucking word wrong this entire time.
Yeah, I'm
So it would not surprise me if I was.
It's aspartame.
I'm pretty sure it's aspartame.
It's aspartame.
It is aspartame.
But I like your moxie. I like the idea of it being aspartame.
How often do we get to see a grown man learn a new word? You know, like this is like a
Aspartame-
moment in history.
Aspartame sounds like the hero lead of an anime about a Mexican.
Well, hey, listen, you know, this is my rebuttal. If your fucking drink has shit in it that you can't even pronounce, you probably shouldn't be drinking it.
I mean, hey, I'm not arguing with that. Do you guys
Yeah.
know that Aziz Ansari joke? I heard this one this week too about when he was in a restaurant with 50 Cent. Do you guys know that bit?
Maybe.
Wait,
I've
no?
seen like a couple
so,
of stand-ups.
so he's like, everyone shut the fuck up. Like, 50 Cent is in this restaurant. I need to hear everything he says. And he hears 50 Cent ask for a vodka grapefruit drink or something like that, like a vodka grapefruit. So he brings it out and he goes, and then 50 Cent says the funniest thing that any grown man can ever say when they're handed a grapefruit vodka drink. And he goes, "Why isn't this purple?" And he's like, everyone shut the fuck up. 50 Cent doesn't know what a grapefruit is. he's like,
Yo, why the fuck isn't this
like,
purple?
what the fuck's wrong with these? What's the fuck's wrong with this orange? like what the fuck? And he's like, yeah, I get it. Apple fruit, banana fruit, carrot, vegetable. No, 50 Cent, no. Grapefruit.
It looks like an orange. So what you're saying is you peel it open, it has grapes on the inside.
Yeah.
Holy shit. So anyways.
Oh my
what we're
God,
talking about.
but-
I had something I wanted to bring up with you guys.
Oh, okay.
I'm
Yeah.
talking about Aspartame, the Greek god of not knowing
it's
words.
forever and from now on known as Aspartame. Also, we were talking about what iCarly. We were talking about iCarly the other day. Was that Monday?
What?
Was that? We were talking about iCarly. Didn't we talk about iCarly?
I think that's true.
Yeah, they were talking about Gibby. I remember. Anyway,
Yeah.
we're talking about it in our production meeting. Well, anyway, I think the reason why I thought that was because Jack Black guest starred on this is a date pull, guest starred on an episode of iCarly, and his character's name was Aspartame because it was an episode about LARPing.
Why the fuck do you remember this?
That's
because I love
random.
Jack Black.
Fair enough. Have you seen the episode? Like he did a show in Korea where he's like singing Korean pop songs and they have to guess like what song.
Fucking hilarious, dude.
I love
was
that
in
clip.
tears.
I love that clip. So we're talking about drinks. We're talking about like, washing and cleansing the palate. So my question to you gentlemen this fine day is it's a two-part question. How do you feel about spicy food?
Yes, I like.
Okay. Are we answering or we're letting you
Yes.
ask
You're
the
gonna
second
answer.
question first?
How do you feel about spicy food?
Tastefully spicy food is great. Spicy in which I hate myself, won't eat it.
Like the ones where you have to sign a waiver or shit, or they basically mace your tongue.
Yeah, fuck that. I'm not going to
Yeah.
eat a food just for the
Right.
fact that it's spicy.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm with you on
that.
that.
Yeah.
So then my second part of my two-part question is, what is your hot sauce or sauces of choice?
Ooh.
Ooh.
What's your go-tos? I've got mine.
So
Damn.
my go-to is actually gochujang, Korean red pepper spicy, because it has like a little bit of sweetness to it that isn't replicated in any other kind of hot sauce I've ever had, and it usually comes in like a paste form that I mix with hot water to kind of melt it down and make it more of a sauce. But that shit's so good.
The balsa sauce.
I want what he's having.
Okay.
I'm
I
saying
like
it's so
guashong. Is that how you say it? Guashong?
Guashang? I don't know.
Guashong? Okay. I like that shit. It's like the fermented red bean paste, right? Or red pepper paste.
Are you talking about? Yeah, it's gochujang.
Okay.
Okay. What? Okay. So first, let me ask you guys this: where you guys at on the red hot versus Tabasco debate?
If you're gonna make me pick, wait, you're talking
Right.
about
You
Frank's?
go to a diner and they ask you Tabasco or red hot.
You're talking about Frank's Red Hot?
Yeah.
I'm Frank's Red Hot 9 times out of 10.
Same.
Okay. Wow, that's 3 for 3 on Frank's Red Hot. I'm there with you.
I'm not a big Tabasco guy. It's fine and it's good in like beef chili and shit. Like I like it there, but like it's not it's not my fave. I like it on oysters.
Yeah, okay, that's there. I mean, like, I don't mind it when I go to, like, I think Chipotle's, like, they only have Tabasco.
Yeah, I hate that.
Yeah, and it's like every other restaurant you go to ever, it must be a sponsorship thing, but every other restaurant you go to, they give you a choice between the two, at the very least.
Yeah, so there's one hot sauce in this house right now, and it's my favorite to pair with said chipotle, and that is Cholula.
Oh, I thought it'd be
I've heard of Cholula.
I thought it'd be Aspartame.
It's not Aspartame. There's Aspartame. No, it's
Aspartame.
so I purposely, because I don't have a purse to carry my hot sauce around, and like our dear Lord and Savior Hillary Clinton. But I will purposely take the Chipotle home so that I can enjoy it with my Cholula sauce. So I will wait like extra time and I'll bring a side of sour cream too, which brings me to a genius idea I have now. I'm trademarking this. I'm gonna mail this to myself. Okay, I'm just gonna seal the envelope. So this is my idea. You can't take it, but they need to have hear me out, a hot sauce flavored, like it needs to be a licensed agreement. There needs to be a hot sauce flavored sour cream. This is what I want to have.
I don't know how much I'd like that.
I would love it because I'm always, when I go to Chipotle, I'm always putting like I have a side of sour cream and I'll put one like right where I'm about to bite, and then I'll put the Cholula on top of the sour cream. I'm like, save me a step. Save me a step.
I'm not against the idea, but the only crazy thing about, well, first of all, I feel like when I go to Chipotle, every time you ask for sour cream, they fuck that burrito bowl or whatever with sour cream. Like they slather that shit in sour cream, dude. Like
They just
I always get the
explode.
stingy ass Chipotle people. They're just fucking stingy. They're like counting the cubes of meat and shit. Like, come on, man.
See, I have the opposite problem usually. Like they're just like, yeah, I'm just gonna fucking like lay that shit on there, just fucking ladle that shit. Like
I wish.
Well, some people like. For me, like I like sour cream and hot sauce in mine, but it's got to be a nice balance of like both. You know what I mean? It can't be like, I can't have like a little bit of sour cream and then like a lot of hot sauce. I usually like
it's got to be a good bite. It's got to be a good bite. The ratios matter, just like toilet paper and water. The ratios matter here.
Yeah. So how would you ratio your sour cream and hot sauce mix?
I would probably do 20 to 2. Or 10 to 1, I guess. That's on math.
20 to 2. Look, okay. So for me, I would prefer to keep them separate because there's a thing about the human mind and how the tongue interacts where like homogenization isn't as delicious to us as like actual separate things. Like I think if you mix, if you truly were not hot sauce plus sour cream, but instead like a hot sauce sour cream, I think it wouldn't taste as good in the long run.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah, I mean, it's not an exact science, like it's going to take some experimentation. Like, you can't just be like, oh, just mix this and this, the two ingredients. Like, yeah, I agree with you. They're going to have to play with it.
Yeah, I think it would be a weird, I think it would be a texture thing.
But I'm saying I would patronize that product if it were to exist, is all I'm trying to say.
Or, you want to talk about great combinations, though? Sriracha motherfucking ketchup.
It's not bad.
Sriracha ketchup
Another condiment I have, guys, which I'm sad to say you don't have Whataburger up there, but holy shit, Whataburger is awesome and it's cheap and it's huge. But they introduced me to spicy ketchup. They have spicy ketchup there, just in packets you can buy.
That sounds
really
good.
Awesome. And they sell it in the stores down here too. So I bought the Whataburger spicy ketchup to dip my corn dogs in, and it's the bomb.
Nice.
Hell yeah. Were you guys at on the sriracha craze? I'm a huge sriracha fan myself.
I like it. I don't love it. I like the guachong much better. Better.
Gochujang.
I'm sorry, the gochujang. That to me is so much better than sriracha. Like I'm kind of surprised that sriracha got so huge because it is like the king now of hot sauce. And apparently I don't know if you guys know this, but like the plant or whatever they cook it in, I don't know if it's in New Jersey or LA. I can't even remember what coast it's on. But anyways, everyone that lives around it like fucking hates their lives because like the chemicals and all that are just like destroying like all the property value and just making a really shitty thing to live next to. Rip. So apparently making that sriracha like is really fucking bad for all involved.
Except for the end user.
No, especially the end user on their end, if you catch my drift.
Oh, yeah.
Nah. Hey, butt jokes, poop jokes.
Guachong sounds like a fucking Tekken character, FYI.
Get ready for the next battle.
Guachong. Anyway.
I listened to a recent podcast episode that interviewed the guy behind Hot Ones, that YouTube series where the guy eats like really hot wings.
Yeah, the guy eats hot wings.
Yeah. And they were talking about how their main dealer for like hot peppers, like they gave him the they used to own the world record, right, for like hottest pepper ever. And this one other random dude like came up with one that was even hotter. And that first dude was just like, oh, that's cool. And then he just like pulled out a pepper he's been like sitting on for years and is like, this is hotter. Fuck you.
Damn.
And they call that one Pepper X now.
Oh shit!
What? So that's hotter than like what's the hottest one? The ghost chili or whatever?
Yeah, the ghost
that's
chili.
not
Even close
now.
anymore. Yeah,
or Carolina Reaper.
That's not even close anymore. No, that's not even close anymore, guys.
No, yeah. Well, now it's Pepper X is the hottest pepper.
Yeah, but here's the thing about it. It's kind of like graphics cards. Like one thing you can be for sure is like in 6 months there's going to be a brand new ceiling because they've gone to genetic modifications now.
Yeah.
It's all like the CRISPR gene or some shit where they're just going to crank it up every few months. So we're fucked.
I'm waiting on dude, where's the Peruvian puff pepper? Like that's what I'm waiting on.
Dude, what fucks me up is when people eat hot food and then their nose start bleeding. I'm just like, oh, that's fucked up.
That's what I'm saying, dude. Like it's gonna get to a point where like I say Peruvian puff pepper. That's a Drake and Josh reference.
Right.
I'm waiting for like the pepper to come out to be like, oh yeah, this pepper, if you eat it, it'll probably cause instant kidney failure. So 50-50 chance.
I'm waiting for a pepper where it's like, you want an easy way out? Just bite into this pepper.
Yeah, we just got pulverized. We just put pulverized glass in this here now. Good luck.
Yeah, as you swallow it, it will actually burn your esophagus, so you can't breathe as you swallow.
Yeah, that taste is actually just, your esophagus shredding.
If you keep it in your mouth long enough, you'll start to taste iron, which is normal.
Oh.
This is pretty good. Just blood pouring out of your mouth.
Know, you have to sign this waiver. You have to provide what blood type you are.
Yeah.
So we can get you an extra bag of blood. All right, let's move on. We've gone too far. We've crossed the Rubicon.
Let's talk about some video games. Jack, do you want to start us off?
We played a game, you and I.
Yes, we did, Jack.
We co-opt, some would say, and we found a way out. The game is a way out. Yeah, we know the way. We found the way.
We did find the way out within like 2 hours.
We can say that now, and the game was fun. We played the whole thing, beginning to end, on PC. You were mouse and keyboard, and I was controller, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, and I didn't have to buy it. Since Jack bought it, I just like kind of piggybacked off his copy.
Hey, that's how they designed it. You know, they're revolutionizing the way that AAA games are bought and sold.
So how does that work, though? Did you have to download it? Or?
Yeah, so I had to download the Friend Pass version of the game, which is, they call it the trial version, and you can't even play a demo of it. It's literally only like if a friend invites you and that friend owns an actual copy of the game, then you play it with them.
So real quick, just let me get this off the top here. It was developed by Hazelight Studios and published by Electronic Arts, directed by the famous, now notorious, Josef Fares, however you say his name.
Josef Fuck the Oscars Fares, I believe is his full name.
Yeah.
It's Josef? It's not Joseph?
I think it's Joseph, yeah.
And it's in the Unreal Engine 4. It's on Windows, PlayStation 4, Xbox One. Came out March 23rd, so very recently. It's about 6 hours long, 5-6 hours depending. I think that if a second playthrough, I think you could do 3. Yeah. Because there's so much time wasting in that game. And I don't know. Do you want to just get into it, or do you want to talk about other, top level stuff more?
Okay, so overall, my experience with it is I walked away feeling like, yeah, other people should play this game. I think it's an important game for people to play.
Keep in mind real quick, I know Colin wants to play this, so let's not like spoil it. We're not going to spoil the game. We're just going to talk about overall impressions and thoughts.
Yeah, we won't say that Snape killed that the ending happens.
Yep.
Although I will say that the ending is a very redeeming factor. Like if you're playing this, commit to the end. It's absolutely 100%. It makes much like Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons, Josef Fares' first game. It's worth getting to the end. 100%.
There is a payoff. I agree with that. However, to retort your last statement, I would not blame anyone for dropping off this game. I wanted to drop off of it multiple times. I was like, fuck this. Keep my $30. I don't want to play this anymore because there's a lot of things they're trying to do. It's very ambitious, but I don't know how successful they are. And like all you and I could do is point out kind of like all the flaws and like also all the references. So there are a lot of like pop culture references in this game. I don't know if we should mention them or not, but it's in prison, so obviously Shawshank Redemption is going to be like
it's Shawshank as fuck, dude. It's so Shawshank.
And then there's like a chase scene that's straight out of a Casino Royale. Have you ever seen the movie, Colin? Casino Royale?
No, I haven't.
It's a great movie, by the way. Probably my favorite Bond movie, if not one of my favorite spy movies, period. But Casino Royale, there's a chase scene that's straight out of that movie, and then there's other stuff too, but I'll let you guys kind of discover it. But it tries to do a lot of things. You know what I mean? Like there's a lot of like things that are like in open world games, right? Like side games. There's like horseshoes and there's darts, and there you can play guitar badly,
and you can arm wrestle each other.
You can. It's a weird thing though, but it's very linear too. Like you can get through the game pretty much by pushing up and X a lot. You can progress through it. So there's a lot of things you can miss too. So I think overall the acting is just not good. You know what I mean? It's not on the level that it should be.
Really?
And the scripting, and the scripting is not stand out either, So I'm trying to not give away too much, but I will say the game has its problems. It's not a perfect game. However, I'm glad I stuck with it. I'm glad I saw the end. And yeah, I could recommend it to someone like, hey, try it out. I would definitely not recommend paying $30 for it if you can not. Wait till it goes on sale. Don't steal the game, for fuck's sake. But I was also way too hype on it from last E3. Because coming out of E3, it was like the big game to look forward to. And I just think I built it up too much. And also just coming off of all that cachet that they had with Brothers. I thought Brothers Tale of Two Sons was such an awesome, tight experience. It was like, one afternoon you could play it. And I think at 6 hours, A Way Out is not something you can say, you can beat in one sitting. Sure, a lot of people do and will, but that's not something the average person would do, right? That's at least 2-3 days to get through. And it took us, 3 days about?
I think 3 days, yeah.
Yeah, just because I got so fucking bored and tired, I had to go to sleep.
Like, I do think the game it'd benefit from quicker sequences, shorter sequences, less kind of distracting bullshit, essentially. Like, if the characters were really, really likable, I think I'd be into it more. But
right,
they kind of felt like stereotypes in a lot of ways.
Caricatures. Characters are not great. The story is just not great. And like in a game like this, you need a really strong story.
Yeah, like because when we were playing it for the first 2 hours, we were both going back and forth about like, holy shit, this is just like Shawshank Redemption. And it got to the point where one of the characters was like, well, I used to be a bank teller out in the real world, and I was like, fucking A, he's
what? There's so much overt like homage. It's borderline not even homage. It's borderline just plagiarism. At certain points.
So that
you can tell a lot about a man by looking at his shoes.
There's literally a black guy who can get you whatever you need. It's
literally.
Like, it's so Shawshank. And
it also didn't help that I literally saw Shawshank Redemption the night before we played this game because I knew it was leaving Netflix like the next day. So I am like fresh off the Shawshank trip, and so. The game's good, but it's just overall, I have to say it's disappointing. It's not on the level of Brothers. I think Brothers is a better game in a lot of respects. And I just think there's way too many quick time moments. Like we got over that with God of War 1. We got over that with fucking the fucking what is it, like the eyes thing or whatever in Shenmue. Like fuck that. Like we've been doing this for a long time, and there's just way too much reliance on that as like a fun quote unquote thing to do in video games anymore in 2018.
Although if you want to get real fucked up with a friend while you play this, drink every time you both need to be there to open a door. Seriously, you'll get destroyed by like 2 hours.
Yeah, that's was really annoying to me. It was like that's how they gate the game. There's like, this cart that's just too heavy, or this door that's just too heavy. Like, you need both of you to push it or both of you to open it, or you have to time your door. You have to time your button presses to go together, or you won't you won't open the door. Like, I don't know. I've seen it's just not doing anything like especially unique. That being said, there are some awesome moments in the game, which I won't say too much about, but it definitely ramps up at the end for sure.
Yeah.
And I think the hospital scene was very cool. I'll just say that.
Yeah, like we've been saying a lot of bad things about the game, but when the game gets cool, it's very cool. Like it really does feel like, wow, I'm playing a co-op game that has never existed before. And I think this game is successful in that, where there's no game like it. There are other games that you can play co-op, like through a story mode or whatever, but this kind of beats it. This tops the cake, honestly.
Is it better than Kane and Lynch?
I mean, Tic-Tac-Toe is a better game than Kane and Lynch.
Yes.
So
yeah, that was the last 2-player split screen co-op game I think I played.
Yikes.
Me and my buddy, who like my one friend is the guy that we'd always play through co-op games together. The last game we played was Kane and Lynch 2, and we beat through it in one night, and it was fucking terrible. The most notable scene was there's a scene where each one of your characters is running around in the area naked. Butt-ass naked.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Like Metal Gear Solid 2?
That reminds me, just disclaimer warning, if you're very fragile and can't deal with pixel man-wang, the first like 2 minutes of A Way Out does have some just straight up, here's a dick.
Yosef Ferris, everybody.
It's an okay game, but again, with all the hype and all the hyperbole around it and just the way it came out of there of E3 last year, like I was so hype on it. So, maybe it's a little bit of my fault, bringing high expectations to it, but I can't say that it's a great game. It's okay for me.
I would say it's an important game. It exists in a space that I'd love to see more games like it, but I'd also like to see those future hypothetical games executed on a higher, more engaging level.
I would much rather play Cuphead co-op, same couch with somebody, than this game, for sure.
Right, but the difference there is that when you have Mugman with you, you're both still basically doing the same thing. Like, you're both basically the same characters.
I'm just saying, it's just a better experience. I get what you're saying. Like, it just didn't deliver for me. I don't know. Like I said, there's good, but the bad to me is there's too much bad to offset all the good. But I'm glad that I played. I'm glad I beat it.
Yeah, I mean, after seeing the ending that we got, there are multiple endings, by the way. I went to see the others, and I don't know. I have a lot more respect for the game after seeing like Josef Fares's grand final vision, and I'm still excited. Huh?
Are there 2 endings or 3?
There are 2 endings, I believe.
Okay, I saw the other one too. So yeah.
Yeah, and I'm still excited for whatever if Josef Fares is going to direct a 3rd game, I'm excited for it. I just think maybe he should have a team that's a little bit more like, are you sure we need this? Are you sure we need that?
Yeah, I think EA happened to this game. I think that's probably, something that is sticking to my craw a little bit that I can't help.
Actually,
but
they
mention.
didn't. They were completely hands off with this game.
Oh, well, that's just depressing then.
Yeah.
That's
I was
why
trying
I'm
to give
saying,
them an out.
Well, I just read an interview not too long ago with Josef Fares about this game, and he said, yeah, like other than some like huge like very like general decisions, like they were really hands off about this.
and that's why I'm saying for if he makes the next game, I'd like to see a team that kind of questions him more directly about whether certain things need to be in the game. You know what I mean? Because I think there are a lot of scenes in A Way Out that almost all of them are optional, but the fact that they're there kind of feels more like padding than anything else. Because like in every scene there's like mini games where like who can bat the highest average, or like who can bench press the most weight, or who can do the most push-ups, and it's like that's cool and all, like so you can be competitive with your friend, which in the grand scheme of things is cool and does do a lot for the game, but I feel like it could benefit from having less of those, because eventually they just feel like distractions. And it got to the point where Jack and I, when we were playing, it'd be like, oh look, there's another mini game, fuck it, like don't do it.
Yeah,
like,
I just didn't care anymore. It's like, just get to like the fucking story. I don't know. I think back to like the best of the Telltale games. Walking Dead is one of them for me, and that to me was just paced so wonderfully, I thought. And I think that A Way Out has major scripting, acting, and pacing issues, and gameplay design. Like there's too much quick time moments in it, So.
Oh, and the gunplay isn't great. Just side note, the gunplay's not good.
But it just also depends too on like how like our play style is. Like us, we're 2 sarcastic fuckers, so we were just like cracking on the game the whole time and like not taking it like too seriously at the end. Whatever happens at the end, if you had 2 people that were competitive and taking it like serious, then I could see that definitely ratcheting up the tension. However, you and I did not play that way.
Yeah. So that's A Way Out, everyone. It's worth it, kind of, maybe not full price.
Yeah, wait till it goes on sale and then play with your friend.
I think I'm still gonna play through it though. I'm still curious
it's
about
worth
it.
playing. I think the ending's cool.
Yeah, it speaks a lot to like what games can do. And I did remember reading an interview where Josef Fares was like, I hope what A Way Out does helps kind of push AAA games in a different direction. And I agree with him. I think what he brings to the table is very fresh in terms of what video games can do. I just wish it was executed a little bit more interestingly.
I also don't buy that this is a AAA game. Like I know it's $30.
He never said it was.
Oh, is that not what you just said?
No. Yeah, he said it's like this is far from a AAA game. AAA games have better animations and blah 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 blah. Yeah, and maybe we could have made a bigger, more grander scale game, with a bigger budget. But the thing is, like, I wanted EA to be more hands off with this. I wanted, to do my own thing with it. So
yeah, what he was saying is that he hopes that what his game does makes AAA developers think about making games differently.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, and also coming from like someone who had a history in like film, I would have expected, I guess, a tighter script too. So that's something else that gets me.
Yeah. Jack, did you play any other games?
That Ni no Kuni 2 Revenant Kingdom, son.
Ni no Kuni.
Level 5 developed, of course. It is on PC, PlayStation 4, and it came out March 23rd. The first game, I played a little bit of it. I was like, this animation is awesome and this voice acting is sweet. and then I just kind of fell off it in a bad way for some reason, and the combat never really held me. This game, however, already, I'm only a couple hours in, but it's already so much better than the first Ni no Kuni.
100%.
I'm really getting hyped for it.
100%.
And I know that some of the a lot of the gameplay like elements and stuff haven't even like opened and unlocked yet. So I'm looking forward to that, but I think the animation is fantastic. I love the combat. I like the world they're building. I love the music. I love how batshit insane crazy the game starts out as. Can I give spoilers for like the first like 2 minutes of Ni no Kuni 2?
I already know that there's a bomb and shit, so.
Okay, so so spoilers for the first 2 minutes of Ni no Kuni. This is really not a big deal, but this is why this game's so fucking awesome, because you're like the president of the United States in a motorcade, and you're like going to some summit in some foreign country. It looks like somewhere in Asia. And as you're crossing a bridge, the president goes, "What?" and like looks up, and there's like a nuclear missile flying towards the city. Obliterates the town. The president's car goes flying, and then I guess he dies or time travels or gets sucked up by the blue ether, and then he like rematerializes, and he's like half his age, and he's like in Ding Dong Dell, the kingdom, right, is what it's called, and he's like with this like Catman prince, and then he's like walking down the hallway with the cat prince boy, and like someone's going to like attack, like there's a not mutiny, what's the word I'm looking for? A coup. There's like a coup going on, and the president of the United States pulls out a motherfucking gat and guns down a dude to defend the cat boy prince. And I'm just like, holy shit, what the fuck just happened?
Yeah, this is a medieval fantasy RPG, but he has a gun.
The fucking president of the United States has infinite bullets, by the way.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about ammo. It's pretty cool.
It's insane. So I'm like, yeah.
You can charge it up to shoot a laser out of a gun.
Spoilers. I don't have that.
No, that's just part of the game. It's just a mechanic.
Oh, is it? Oh, okay. I'm still learning. I'm still early in the game, but already I'm like, yes, this game is awesome. I'm really liking it. It's been a while since I've gotten into RPGs in a big way. I know I have Final Fantasy 15, and it's there for me, and also Final Fantasy 12, but like this game, I can tell will be a time sink for me. It'll probably take me all of this year to beat it, depending on how long it is.
I heard it's kind of shorter as far as RPGs go. Like around 35 hours.
I welcome that.
Yeah. I am about as far as you are in that game, I believe. I'm enjoying my time with it. I kind of didn't really know what to expect with the combat, but I love the combat. It feels a lot more like a Tales of game rather than that weird Pokemon kind of thing that they did in the first game.
Where you didn't really fight yourself, as I understand it. You didn't really fight yourself, but you like commanded like
monsters,
Pokemon type monsters to fight for you in the first game. This one's way more. Yeah, this one's way more direct now.
Yeah,
it's more like there's like a quick attack, a strong attack. There's special abilities to unlock, and the animation's great, man. And the combat's kind of easy for me right now. I don't know, maybe I just over leveled, but like right now I can like kill like mobs in I don't know a couple seconds.
From what I hear, it never gets harder.
Yikes.
Yeah, like,
it's hard. I have a hard time believing that. That'd be crazy if it doesn't.
Like there's specific bosses that you can, and this is what I've read from the reviews and things like that. Like you can seek out certain bosses that are harder, but like there's next to no grinding needed to get through this game. Like the game, just you get through combat pretty easy.
Just moves.
Yeah,
I mean I'm okay with that though.
I feel like I have so much more to unlock with combat and everything too.
Because I mean, the story so far is kind of interesting to me. Because it's all about those like parallel universes kind of a thing, where like you're a president and you're trying to help out this like young king become the king of his country again.
Young Kang.
Yeah, which is just like I don't know. That's kind of a neat story thread for me. And I know later in the game you eventually get to build up the kingdom and it becomes kind of like a city simulator almost.
That's what I hear, but like I need to wait to see what that's about.
There's a it's like a freaking onion, man. It's like an ogre.
Yeah.
There's a lot of layers there.
Ni no Kuni 2, Revenant Ogre.
Revenant Ogre, yeah. What I have heard about the game, and you can tell me how true this is that like aside from like the it being set in the world of what is it? Ding
Dong Dell, please.
Yeah. And kind of like a similar art style. It's not really that close at all to the first game.
Good, which is good.
I like I said, I fell off Ni no Kuni in such a hard way, man.
I played 10 hours of Ni no Kuni 1 and I was still like, when does it get good?
Really, it never like picked up.
No.
Wow,
10
you
hours
guys are breaking my heart. I
in.
like the new Kuni one.
I didn't like
How
it
much
that
did you play?
man.
How much did you play?
I didn't play. I confess I didn't play all that much, but
I wanted to like it so bad.
I don't know. I really like the story setup so far though for Ni no Kuni 1. It's a really personal story.
What I am impressed by is that what Studio Ghibli did all the art for the first one. They did not. They stepped off the pedestal. They did not do the art for this game, and it still looks great.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does. It does.
Factor 5 stepped up, man.
Yeah, well, I mean, I hope the like it sounds like you guys are liking the story, which is good because like from the reviews I was reading, a lot of people were saying the story isn't as strong as the first game.
Again, we're early impressions.
Yeah.
Very early. Yeah.
What I can say to you though is that it looks great, and the combat is among the best in an RPG I've played in a while.
Oh yeah, it's still a must play for me for sure.
Oh, and the PC port runs super well.
Yeah,
super,
I'm playing it
super
on
well.
PS4 because it's running in HDR, and fuck, it looks good there. I wanted to play it on the 4K, so that's why I got it on the console. But yeah, I've heard the PC one is pretty dope.
Yeah, it's a pretty smooth port. I've had no issues. I bought the game too, and I haven't been able to put as many hours into it as I wanted to because I also bought Far Cry 5 and have been playing that game for a bit. And by a bit, I mean like more than 20 hours since it came out.
I'm so tortured on that game. I want to like it.
So
You want to like it.
I think it's pretty good though. I'm very positive on the game. So
Really?
Yeah, really. So developed by like 20 different Ubisoft studios from all over, mainly Toronto and Montreal. Published by them as well. Came out like last Tuesday, March 27. And it's so originally when I first saw like, oh shit, Far Cry 5 is happening, I was really hoping that it'd be like very topical, very pertinent to real world America right now.
Yeah.
Like I was hoping it'd like have something resonant or that would resonate with me very well. Because
the storyline seemed like the trailers seemed like fuck, they're going there. Oh shit,
Yeah.
they're really gonna make this story in this game now? Like holy shit.
And then the more recent trailers have been more about like, you know, driving off ramps on your buggy and, you know, like fucking befriending a bear and shit. And it became more about the wacky.
This is basically Just Cause 4.
Yeah. It went more for the wacky stuff. And that's when it hit me when like, you know, as much as I liked Voss, it's not like Far Cry ever told like a super like I don't remember the full story of Far Cry 3. You know, I just know that it had some kind of deep message about, you know, violence in video games and like how you're just so easy to do it because they give you a gun. That's kind of it.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like the writing for Far Cry's been. I mean, like look at fucking Blood Dragon. Like you don't need to be a talented writer to come up with an 80s spoof, right? I never played. I never played 4 or Primal, so I can't comment on those. But yeah,
I have a bone to pick with not necessarily this game, but with the reviews. I have a really big bone to pick with the reviews for this game because
Do we disagree on video games, gentlemen?
I mean, the reviews for this game, this game has been getting lower scores because a lot of these reviewers have been basically taking points away from the game for not being a game that they want it to be. And in that they expected this highly political, highly allegorical game, and it just wasn't there because Ubisoft didn't write it that way.
They expected because that's how the game was positioned when it was first announced. It was
At
like
first.
a big deal, those trailers.
yeah,
In the
then-
beginning.
yeah, but like I said, the more recent PR has been more about the wacky shit you can do in this game.
Well, right, but it's never been touted as to be this like huge political statement, and that's what a lot of people expected out of it. It's actually a play on the Branch Davidian cults from the 90s.
It's a missed
Yeah.
opportunity though. Like it could have been that game, and to come out at this time in like the culture, right? Like it could have been significant. It's
Yeah,
like,
but
what
you're
it all
gonna
could have
drop the score because of that. I think that's
Well,
stupid.
And the other thing too, just the way I'm thinking of it is, it could have been that game, but I'd want them to hire qualified writers to handle a story
For
that
sure.
could have been that game.
For sure.
And because I don't think they did, I'm glad they didn't try to make it like this is real world America. And this is a possible problem that could happen in 2019 if we don't get our guns in check.
All I'm hoping for is that the game that is out now on shelves is actually truly in fact the game they're trying to make. If that's it, then hey, fair play. Like, it's just not a game that I'm that interested in playing. And I agree with you, Colin. Like, if people are dropping their scores because it's not meeting some false expectations that they're putting in their heads, or they're thinking they're not just like rating it based on its own merits, like, I totally agree with you, and I stand with that. Now, me, I played the shit out of Far Cry 3. I played the shit out of Far Cry 4. I skipped Primal. I didn't play much of Blood Dragon, but I know I got the gist of it.
Shame.
I'm just on like fucking Far Cry fatigue, and because those games are so fucking similar in so many ways. So me, I want something that is going to be different than those games. And to me, what I'm hearing is that and what I'm seeing is that it's just not different enough. It's just kind of more of that formula. I mean, there are some things they take away, like they make that stupid joke about not having to climb towers like all over the place and stuff. And
yeah. Within like the first hour, they make that joke, which is pretty good. I like it.
Right. And it's just like, I need more than that. Like, that's a start, but like, I need it to be, I don't know. I need it to be like a game that I can like fall in love with, that is kind of like wholly unique. I need the impossible, basically. Like, make a new, like kind of phenomena level game in order for me to feel like it's relevant, or anything above like a 7 out of 10, right? Because it's just more of the same for me. So I'm just like, hey, good on you. You did that. It looks a little bit better. There's new weapons and stuff. It's a new location. But if the story isn't like super compelling, then and the gameplay is largely unchanged, and there's so little reason for me to play. And trust me, man, I was there. I was going to be there day one. If the story was strong again, and if they evolve the series to where it needs to go. Because how many times are they going to do this game, guys? It's just 3 and 4.
Oh yeah. So here, do you want me to tell you more about it since I've actually played it? So you kind of know like what it is. So it is definitely more of 3 and 4. The fact that there are less towers, though, like, I don't think that'd make a big difference, but it kind of really does in how you explore the world. Because what they do is that it's a lot more like Skyrim. Like, you remember when you were like super into Skyrim? It was you kind of get to that point where you're like walking around and you look at your compass and you see like, oh, there's something there. Let's just walk over and see what it is, right? Like, you kind of just explore as you want to. And this game, Far Cry 5 kind of leads you to that more, rather than here's your tower and then you climb it and it reveals all the markers and you set a waypoint and you just walk to it. It's like it's a lot more than that, which I'm kind of enjoying that a lot more. And I don't know, it's in this weird place where a lot of the characters and a lot of the story makes me groan for the most part, right? Like, what they've done in this game is they have like 4 bad guys, 4 fucking bad guys, and all of them are like uniquely insane. And every time I'm just thinking like, man, they're trying so hard to hit that sweet black oil. They're trying so hard to create another Voss that everyone just fawns over and loves. And
so
I'm not
they're trying
saying
too hard in a way.
Yeah, and it's not like they all remind me of Voss. It's just like you can tell that they're all like like manufactured to be wacky. And it's like, oh, okay, so they're trying really hard to make a character that resonates with everyone in the same way that Voss did with his whole like, have I ever told you the definition of insanity? Like, I don't know, they struck gold with him, and then they ruined his character in 3. And now they're trying so hard to strike gold with a new guy here. And all of the characters, I mean, I've really only met 2 of the main bad guys, and like the top one, Joseph Seed, I think. I don't know, because like 3 of the male brothers are named Joseph, John, and Jacob. And I'm like, you want me to tell the fucking difference between 3 guys named Joseph, John, and Jacob? Are you kidding me?
That's funny.
Yeah.
John Jacob Heimersmith.
You don't know how many times I've thought that while playing the game. But yeah, so like the top dog, he's kind of boring. He's like he comes off as your typical cult leader who truly believes that God has spoken to him and he's leading the world into the righteous justice, like the true path full of justice that only he can bring it to, even if it has to be through guns. And it's like, that's cool and all, but you're not an interesting character. You're just kind of a caricature. And like his lieutenants, which are like his brothers and one sister, they've all got their own thing. Like, one of them is like the very, like, he's a very military kind of guy and is like, I will beat you into submission and like, you will learn what it means to be good. And one of them is like, I learned the power of saying the word yes. And now I'm going to teach you to say yes to everything, which like
Ew.
could have been cool, but I've killed him already, and it wasn't that great. His story wasn't that interesting. And then the third lady, she's like a witch drug demon who comes to you through your like cocaine dreams and like kidnaps you via your cocaine dreams, which is like really weird, but still isn't striking me in the same way that Voss did.
Let me ask you, do you get the sense that they maybe like got gun shy with the story? Maybe the game that everyone was hoping they were going to make was actually like something that was in the plans, and then they like, you know, late into development, they're like, no, we need to change it. They flinched and like, we can't make this game. We're going to get too much heat.
No, I get the feeling that they had this plan from the beginning. And
this is the game they wanted to make.
That's
so
what
it
I
wasn't
feel
the game
like.
it was positioned as.
And I feel like what it was is that PR was originally like, oh shit, we can like key into the political zeitgeist right now for like more marketing. But
I mean,
then,
it is militias, you know, and religion like in Montana. It's the first time it's in America, which is kind of like supposedly the selling point for this game.
yeah, and I mean the game is beautiful.
Yeah.
It's very, very like I've taken moments where I just kind of look at the landscape and I'm like, wow, this is cool. Like the fact that I'm looking at this right now is really neat. But at the end of the day, if you're looking for serious story, it's probably not going to hit you. And in fact, it may not be. It's nowhere near the best that Far Cry's been in terms of story. But it is the best Far Cry's ever been in terms of gameplay and exploration. I stand by that fact. Like,
Right.
Well, I mean, you have no idea how many times I have talked myself out of plunking down $60 to play it. I really want to like the game. It was like my first AAA like must buy of this year, and then once like all the reviews started coming in, I started hearing about it. It just was breaking my heart, man.
Yeah,
tearing me apart, Lisa.
Because if you were wanting something serious, like the closest they get is they have this one stupid side mission where this FBI agent is like, hey, you're the deputy, you're the guy who's been like, you know, ruffling up feathers in this cult. I need your help. The FBI has sent me on a very secret mission to get like this tape of the president doing some very nasty things, and it's owned by some Russian spies who are living here in Montana that you have to kill. And he keeps hinting that like this video it relates to the president and some liquid that he can't talk about anymore. And I'm just like,
shit.
okay, guys, I get it. P-tape, I get it.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that's the closest it gets to like, you know, kind of lampooning reality, I guess.
And they could have done so much more.
That's the thing that kind of bothers me about this whole thing. Like people get one of these reviews like totally expecting Ubisoft to make like this anti-Trump or like anti-Republican game or for whatever reason, and it's just another case of games journalists or whatever pushing their politics on top of something. It's like, dude, this isn't something for you to just place your political agenda on top of. It's a fucking video game.
So it seems to me, Colin, sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you, but it seems to me like you think the game is underrated right now for political reasons.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, and I'm sure there's plenty of reviews out there that are judging it for simply being a game. In fact, I know so.
Okay.
But it's just that there are those handful of reviews that it's like, oh, we're gonna drop the score simply based on the fact that it's not fitting this political ideology that I thought it was going to go for.
But wouldn't it be fair to say though that if marketing was like saying, hey, this is the game we're making, like this, it's going to have these elements, going to make you feel this way, and so you buy the game based on that pretense, and then it's not that at all, would how can you blame someone for being disappointed?
But was it though? Was the marketing like that?
Yeah, the first few trailers.
I'll again reiterate the point that recent marketing hasn't been that. Only that initial piece of marketing was very like America, guns, cults.
Well, then maybe it was what you guys were talking about or what Robert was proposing, that maybe they'd had like this PR thing and they're like, well, maybe we should back away from that.
Yeah.
That's a possibility. I mean, like I said, I don't know what goes on behind like the scenes. Yeah. All I'm saying is that's judging it on the wrong merits, and it's like we've seen this before where people were pushing their politics on freaking Kingdom Come Deliverance. And
why?
I don't even know.
It's historical.
Do I even want to know?
Because people were genuinely pissed off that there was no black people in the game. Because there was totally black people in 13th century Bulgaria.
Just like The Witcher.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's like the shit's kind of ridiculous, and it just bothers me, man. It's like, no, dude, it's called an artistic vision. Like, you know.
Okay, I do want to launch one critique of the game that's aside from all the politics stuff.
Yeah.
So as much fun as the game is, like, it's never been better. It's been a lot of fun to like blow up cars with rocket launchers and, you know, like dive bomb out of flying helicopters, and, you know, like it's very action packed. Definitely fulfills that masculine power fantasy, right? But here's the thing. I don't understand why it's so hard for Ubisoft to get women right in games. Like, you remember fucking, was it Unity, where they were like, oh, we were gonna let you make female assassins, but we found out it was too hard to model a fucking female assassin, and then they updated it later and we're like, okay, we made female
crazy.
So Far Cry 5, I remember part of it, like the marketing for it was like, hey, now you get a female, like you can choose a male or female deputy character, right? And, you know, like, that's the first time that they ever did that. Every Far Cry game, you were given a name, and, you know, you were Jacob or Jason. You were I don't remember the Far Cry 4 guy, like his name.
Oh, but Pagan Min.
Well, the main character's name.
Oh,
that you
no,
play.
nobody. Yeah,
Well,
John Doe.
well, you got a name. Is my point.
I know,
you were
but
like an integral.
So non-memorable. Yeah.
Yeah, in the previous games, you were an integral part of the story. You know, like Jason. Like, oh no, I was a college student and I was having fun here, but now I'm kidnapped. Like, Far Cry 5 kind of takes a step back from that because they want you to create your character. So, like, your only motivation is, I was sent here because the military wanted me to go here, and that's kind of it. You don't have any voice lines. You just grunt when you get hit. You know, you're the silent protagonist now. But well, okay, so the game, I don't think they were good at coding the game in terms of like checking to see if you were male or female, because I hear way more often than I should, like when you're just out and about in fights, like the bad guys say like, get him, or like, he's down, he's over there, when I'm playing as a girl. I chose to play a femme
Watch
deputy.
your pronouns, man. Don't assume my gender.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like, I figured they'd at least check for that. And then even in main story cutscenes, they have the characters say like, okay, brand him, or, you know, like, we've captured him. We've you know, it's like, come
That's
on,
crazy.
You could have like just spent another minute recording a couple more lines.
That's
right?
like Game Design 101 kind of stuff, you know?
Yeah,
So,
and it just, to me, that just like keeps pushing this narrative of like, why isn't Ubisoft able to just get gender right? Like, if you can't do it, just make me like John Smith, male deputy who has a tragic backstory and has been sent to Montana to whatever, right? Like, I don't know. It just they didn't stick the landing with it, and it felt very like, you know, it felt like
or something.
It felt dissonant.
my final kick in the balls to this game is that I don't want to play. I have Far Cry fatigue, and this game is not enough. It's not doing enough or innovating on the formula enough to bring me back. Also, like, okay, it's not the story that maybe some people were hoping for, but based on what you're telling me, Robert, like, at the very least, you can have compelling, memorable, awesome bad guys. I mean, that's with Far Cry 3 started to become part of the signature of the series. And without that, if that's like completely fallen flat, then like, what the fuck am I even doing? I'd rather go back and play Skyrim again or some shit, or play Far Cry 3 again. I thought about that. Like, do I want to pay $60 for Far Cry 5, or can I just play 4 and 3, you know, again for free? So yeah. So that's my final thoughts on it. And we've been talking about games forever.
We have, because there were a lot of games to talk about.
There really
Colin,
are, yeah.
What do you bring to the table?
Real quick on the Far Cry 5 talk, just want to give a shout out to Colin Moriarty and his video. He did a video on Far Cry 5 and the politics of game journalism, as the video is called. But yeah, go check it out if you're more interested on the topic. But I've been playing Yakuza Kiwami. I finally got back to the series that I've been loving on for like the past year or so. I was playing Nier Automata, and like I kept staring at like Yakuza on my shelf. I was like,
I thought you were about to say trying to stare up TV skirt.
Yeah, I mean that too.
How far are you in? Hold on, real quick. You can't bring out Nier Automata and not tell us how far you are in it. I'm
really close to the end. I really should go back and finish it. I finished like the 2A fight and at the Castle Kingdom or whatever.
Oh, so you're at the first ending.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know I need to come back to it, but like Yakuza's just been calling my name because Yakuza 6 comes out soon. Yakuza Kiwami is like, I was just eyeing it on my shelf. I'm like, damn it, all right. And so I threw it back in because I just had a hankering to play Yakuza again. And God, just the game is just so much fun. Like, just it felt so good to just jump right back in, kick everyone's ass again, go through this amazing story with like so many twists and turns. And like Yakuza Kiwami has this amazing story, it's a remake of the original Yakuza for FYI, about basically how Kiryu, like, and this happens in like the first couple minutes, like you find this out, this isn't really spoilers, that basically someone kills the patriarch of the family that Kiryu is a part of, and turns out it's Kiryu's adopted brother, and Kiryu decides to take the fault for it, and he goes to prison because of it, goes to prison for him. And while he's in prison, a bunch of shit happens, and Kiryu's brother essentially goes to the dark side. And when you get out, it's basically you have to fight against him. And so like that turns into some very interesting, intense like story plot points, because especially after coming off of Yakuza 0, which was the prequel, like you build a kind of like an attachment to Nishiki as a character, which is his brother. And so like you have almost that tension built in there as a player as well, because you're like, shit, I really like this character from the other game, and now you have to fight him. So I thought it was a really cool narrative device. But yeah. Great game. If you're like Yakuza 0, definitely play that before you jump into Kiwami, obviously. But yeah, I'm kind of just getting myself hyped for Yakuza 6, because Yakuza 6 seems like it's going to be amazing. And I've already kind of spoiled myself on a couple of details from playing the demo for the rest of the series. And I really want to play the rest of the series before I play 6, but I don't know if that'll happen.
And this is also breaking news as well. Marvel has decided to do a cinematic universe of Yakuza. So there's going to be 25 of those, one every 6 months. And they're just going to be growing on trees now. So look forward to that.
I heard they got Benedict Cumberbatch to play Kiryu Kazama, which was a real interesting decision, I think. But I think I support it.
Yeah, it was either him or the guy who played Stephen Hawking. So I think they made
Eddie
the right choice.
Redmayne.
Yeah.
No, we're gonna get Michael Fassbender to play Kiryu, because he's the main video game movie guy now. He played freaking Altair or whoever the hell he played in that Assassin's Creed movie.
Michael Fassbender.
I forgot he was in.
Fassbender.
I forgot he was in Inglourious Bastards. He's awesome in that movie.
Yeah.
I just watched it recently. Anyways,
I'm excited. I'm hyped for Yakuza 6. I'm definitely not like you, Colin, where I'm like, I'm gonna play all the Yakuzas before 6, because like, fuck that. That's too much. That's way too many games.
God, the story is just that good though. That's how much I care about the characters.
And here's the thing: I read all the plot synopses for 1 through 5, because
aren't the games aren't they like 60 hours each?
They're long.
I mean, they have that amount of content, yes, but if you mainline them, they're only like 20 hours or so.
Because I read the synopses for 1 through 5, because the Yakuza 6 demo offers this like, hey, if you want to get caught up on Yakuza 6's story, here's like, some quick little things to read. And I remember just reading through the first game synopsis, and I was like, wait, it's not over yet? Flip the page. Wait, still not over yet? Because like there's so many twists and turns where I'm like, that would be the end to a story in my opinion, but they keep going and going and going and going. And the rest of the games are a lot like that too. So I even though I've read the entire story, I don't remember most of the details, because they introduce a lot of new characters and all that too. I just remember major plot points that at least are pertinent to like the beginning of Yakuza 6 and like kind of setting that game up.
Yeah, and what I will say, by the way, they're doing like this deal on PSN too, where you can get Yakuza 0 and Yakuza 6 in one package for like $70 or $80.
Nice.
Oh shit.
Yeah,
that's not bad.
And I'm pretty sure they don't. If I heard you correctly, they don't cover Yakuza 0's story.
I don't think they did
in that synopsis. So Yakuza 0's story, if you play any of them, play 0, because 0, well, any other ones aside from 6, if you
the one I have.
Play 0.
That's the one I have. That's the one to play, huh?
0 has the best story from what I'm seeing. Like the story wise is amazing.
Right.
But yeah, just it's more over the top Japanese crazy shit. I actually just found out in the 5th game you can become a ramen chef.
Oh, nice,
dude! Spoilers.
Nice.
Yeah. So
it's an integral part of the story, Jack. Like, to defeat the final bad guy, you need to actually use your ramen cooking powers.
Tsubasa, I'm with you.
Here's my new favorite tidbit I found from Kiwami was so you can go to an adult video shop.
Good.
And you can find out a secret password, and you have to ask him for like a copy of like fucking, I don't know, like Backdoor Slaps 3 or some bullshit. And he's like, okay, yeah, it's just back there through that door. And you go back through that door, and they have a fucking black market salesman in the back that'll sell you guns and weapons and shit.
Wow. Nice.
So he's like, yeah, it's better if we don't talk much. And he's some like stereotypical looking motherfucker with like a trench coat and like long hair and sunglasses. And he's like, yeah, just pick out what you want and get the hell out. Like,
Dude, I really want to play this game.
Oh, it's so great.
Yeah.
Dude, you'll have a blast the entire time you play it too. Like, it's just so much fun.
Yakuza 0, you calling me?
You wanna me, calling me.
So we don't have much time left, so let's blitz through some news.
News.
Can we make that our new jingle? I'm gonna take that and blow it up, and I'll make that
Let's
our
do
jingle.
it. Blow it up. That's my new cut. You guys like it?
So quick things here. Persona 5 is getting an anime, and it's starting this weekend. And it's streaming. Huh?
Go ahead. I'm just exasperated.
It's streaming on Crunchyroll and Hulu, and we're gonna get live broadcasts starting April 7. That might be in Japan time. So here it might be April 8. I don't know the exact times yet.
That's my birthday.
Live streaming on the internet or on the TV?
Well, it's on TV, but like there are like, look, you got to get with the times, old man.
What?
Anime live streams now at like around the same time.
What?
It like plays on channels in Japan live.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm really excited. And now I'm like thinking like maybe I just should watch the show and not play the game because I'm never going to.
I still think it's worth playing the game. If they do anything like the Persona 4 anime, they're probably going to go through the whole story. It'll probably skip a lot of stuff, but
Dude,
like the small things,
I'm really excited. This is news to me. This is grand.
It's going to be good.
Is there a noteworthy studio that's doing the animation?
I believe it's the same studio that did. I mean, it's A1 Pictures, who previously worked on Persona 4 anime.
Okay.
And I mean, I've seen that anime and it looks all right. I mean, it doesn't look awful. So I'm excited for it.
Bro, I'm excited for this. Bring it. I love Persona.
Yeah, I'll definitely watch for sure.
Oh, same.
I will too. I got Hulu.
Yeah, it's going to be replacing my Dragon Ball Super binge for every weekend, which I'm excited about.
Rip in pieces until we get that new movie.
Let me ask, is it like, what's like the release schedule like? Is it one episode a week in North America?
Yeah, weekly. It's weekly.
For how many episodes?
I believe it's slated for 24 episodes.
Sweet.
But the way Japan does their anime, probably after episode 12, there's going to be like a couple weeks hiatus. So I believe that's how it works.
So is it dubbed or subbed or both?
Just subs.
Okay, and we'll get it, and we'll get one episode a week. Is it half hour or hour?
Probably like half hour, 24 minutes.
Oh, you tease me. Okay.
Dragon Quest XI, Dragon Quest XI, has been confirmed for the West, and it's coming to PC and PlayStation 4 on September 4th. And the big thing for me on this is like, what's with all these JRPGs coming to PC now? That's like, I'm happy. I'm not going to complain, but like, dude, it's weird.
Dude, and that game looks amazing, and all the impressions I've heard of it have been great. I know a couple of YouTubers I watch imported some Japanese copies of it. And they said it's might be the best Dragon Quest there is.
Nice.
Oh, snap.
Yeah.
They've also claimed that a Switch version of the game is soon to come.
Oh, yeah, I believe it.
So, I mean, nothing's official. Nothing's been announced for it yet in terms of release date. But
I love that that's the climate now, like for games. It's like, okay, yeah, that's great, but like when's it coming to Switch though?
Right. I for one am right on board with you, Robert. Like all these JRPGs to PC, like fuck yeah, about fucking time. Like give the platform its due. It's long been ignored by JRPGs for way too long, so I'm right in line with this.
Yeah, same. And speaking of big release dates being revealed, the new Spider-Man game for PlayStation 4 by Insomniac Games is coming out September 7th.
That's oh shit, that's 3 days between 11.
Yeah, 3. So you have 3 days to beat Dragon Quest 11, and then you can play Spider-Man.
Dude, what the fuck? Like we got Yakuza 6 coming out 3 days before God of War. Now we have Dragon Quest 11 coming out 3 days before Spider-Man.
Is Spider-Man black in this one?
No,
it's not Miles Morales.
It's Peter Parker. Yeah.
Okay. Checking.
It's that same Spider-Man game that had like that big demo at E3 last year.
I remember. Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks awesome. I hope it plays like that and looks like that because
I'm excited.
That demo was impressive.
Oh
Yeah, it looks great. The box art for this game looks kind of bad though.
It's not great. It's very boring.
No? Oh, I have to Google this now.
It's not inherently terrible. It's just boring.
Yeah, it's just
like bored to tears.
Like the box art would make you say, "Oh, it's Spider-Man."
Oh, wait a second. Is this a joke?
No,
it looks like it looks like a placeholder. It looks like it's a placeholder.
That's the thing. It probably is a placeholder. We're still a couple months away. You know.
That's weird. That's minimalist to say the least. Okay.
So in other news, Monolith Productions, the guys behind Middle-earth: Shadow of War, have removed loot boxes.
Wow.
It's over. They're gone.
Wow.
And I love this line because I feel like it was forced out of the developers' mouths, like meat through a grinder.
Let's hear it.
They said that they were worried that the loot box mechanic risked undermining the heart of our game.
What the fuck? So, like, what, 6 months after the game comes out?
Yeah, 6 months later.
Where the hell was this 6 months ago? Like,
so I didn't want to play this game anyways, and this isn't enough to like have me play it. But at the same time, like, what is this? Just a week, right? A week or two after Battlefront 2 got adjusted.
It came out like a month before.
No, I'm talking about these changes to the progression and to the loot boxes and all that.
Yeah,
right. These are like 2 weeks apart. So to me, it's like, wow, like it might actually be working. Like, obviously they wouldn't make these changes if there wasn't a meaningful business case to do it, because these changes are not coming. Maybe the loot boxes are, but the Battlefront 2 changes are not coming at no expense at all. That's expensive as shit to implement, and like you're charging a lot of man hours to get those changes in place on the server side and all kinds of things and QA. So anyways, like, what I'm trying to say is, like, this is costing them, and they're doing it for a reason, because maybe the games didn't. I know Battlefront 2 didn't sell very well, but I'm sure Shadow of War, what is it called? Shadow of War is who's talking about it anymore? Kind of came and went. It definitely didn't make waves back in 2014 like the original did, Shadow of Mordor. So.
Yeah.
Like, hey, good on us, I guess. Vote with your wallets, keep doing it. If a game's shitty and it has like predatory, microtransaction practices, then fucking don't buy it. I didn't buy either of those games, and I wanted to buy Battlefront 2, and I said I couldn't.
To me, it's way too much the case of too little, too late. It'd be like if Square Enix came out and said, "We've removed Blitzball from Final Fantasy X." I'd be like, okay, but who gives a fuck? Like, no one cares now.
It's like if like you, I don't know, if you break up with your significant other, and then they come at you like 6 months later, like, wait, I've changed. Like,
dude, listen, man, is Final Fantasy X 15 years old now?
Yeah, 10.
Or is it even older?
No, I thought it's like 10 or 12.
It did not come out in 08, dude. It came out early 2000s.
Wait. Final Fantasy X?
10.
Final Fantasy X came out in like 2001.
2001. Oh, it's 17 years old.
Holy
it's 17 years old.
Rip.
Dude, that's insane to me.
It's almost old enough to vote.
Almost 2 decades.
Oh.
It's old enough to see a rated R movie.
Wow.
Man,
I was 5.
But Titus's laugh, though, that's timeless.
Ha 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 ha.
Seymour. All I remember is Seymour. Okay, anyways.
We're gonna win.
So if you have Amazon Prime, you also have Twitch Prime, which now also means you're going to start getting 5 games for free per month.
Oh, really?
Which is weird because it's like,
shit.
what's with all these like subscription services, right? I mean, I'm not complaining. That's great and all, but I mean, you've got like Humble Monthly is a thing. PlayStation 4, if you get like PSN, PlayStation Plus, yeah, you get that. Xbox games with gold, right? So now Twitch is cashing, or Amazon and Twitch are cashing in on this. So this month, if you log into Twitch Prime, and I believe you have to download like the desktop Twitch client, which I didn't know was a thing.
Geesh.
But there you go. If you download that, then you get 5 games for free. You get Tokyo 42, which I've never played. Dub Wars, which is interesting for like 10, 20 minutes. Kingsway, no idea what that is. It looks very Legend of Zelda-y. Tales from the Borderlands, which I recommend, is probably one of Telltale's best games, in my opinion. And SteamWorld Dig 2, which to me is like that's surprising because like that's new.
Dude, I was gonna buy that game.
Yeah, so if you have Amazon Prime, just log into Twitch. Well, download the Twitch client and log into that, and you can play SteamWorld Dig 2 through the Twitch client. I believe is how it works.
What? You have to. Whoa! You have to. It's not on Steam.
Yeah, is that you need the Twitch desktop app to install the games.
I mean, it's not a deal breaker. It's just like another one of those. Another front end executable. Like, thanks for that. Everyone wanted, I'm sure, in PC world. Are these only PC versions then, to be safe?
Yeah, I believe it's only PC.
Okay, well, 4 of those games, who cares? SteamWorld Dig 2 is kind of a big deal.
Tales from the Borderlands, I'd say that's a big deal. I mean, it's a good Telltale game. Like
right, but it's older, I guess.
Yeah.
But I get it. I'm sure it's a quality game. Wow, so I guess I should do that then.
I mean, if you want the game.
Yeah, I guess. Wow. Okay, I'm not going to say no. I mean, it's already something I'm paying for.
And to play video games.
Yeah,
but my concern, though, is that, like, if they're going to have that many games a month, like, the chances of all them being awesome is incredibly low.
I mean, that's the same with all subscription models, though, right? Like, PlayStation Plus hasn't been, like, a banger every month. There are definitely some months that are better and some months that are, like, meh.
I'm just saying, it's a cool thing, but, like, don't get your hopes up. Like, oh, I'll never have to buy video games again. Like, it's not like that.
Yeah. Let's see here. We've got 2 more news stories. They're both kind of really big. So how about we only talk about one?
How about we just say fuck it and don't talk about anything more?
Yeah, nothing else happened in video game. Okay, well,
no, I'm just kidding.
Okay, so I guess let's go quickly through this thing then. So Twitch has laid off around 24 employees, and this was a report from Polygon that came out March 30th, and they're saying, hey, we're going to lay off these people, but also we want to increase our headcount by 30% by the end of the year.
Sweetie, baby, honeykins, booby. It's going to be okay. We're adding 30% headcount. Worry not, fret not, no more.
Then, but why though? Then why lay off these people?
Isn't that a weird thing? That's math, right?
Yeah.
We're reprioritizing shit. It's an Amazon company, by the way.
I understand. Like, their explanation was they're reorganizing their departments and things like that, so people had to go because of that. But then if they're going to increase their headcount by 30% anyway, why not find a new place for these people and just wait out the storm until they're willing to hire that 30%? Unless, I mean, the only explanation I could hear, or I could imagine, is that these people were just like hindering productivity, or they just weren't very productive in and of themselves, But otherwise, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I don't know. It's interesting to see how this is happening, and it's kind of like, how do I phrase this? It's very like Twitch has become so big, right? Where like this is kind of an important thing to see, right? Like Twitch is an integral part of the gaming community at this point,
right?
Like there's no denying that. And these are people's livelihoods at stake, right? And like it by what I'm reading from the people who are being laid off, some of them are like they're in a good place, right? Where like they have the connections they need to like still be fine.
But also like if you're gonna get laid off by a company like Amazon's kind of the one, because the severance package is generous, man. They're getting like multiple months of salary.
Yeah,
I believe
anything. They're getting 2 months of salary still, which is
pretty good.
That's generous. Yeah.
Yeah. Especially that salary. Yeah.
So our final news story, at GDC. So this is kind of old news, but GDC 2 weeks ago, some game developers got together for this thing called Game Workers Unite, where they're talking about trying to unionize within the games industry so they can protect themselves against all the bad practices we always hear about, like crunch time and, like just generally maybe shitty workplace environments.
So, I mean, when I first heard about this, I was like, well, wait, because in the political climate that we're in now, in the economic climate, I've been kind of led to believe, like, yeah, we learned about unions and like labor unions and stuff, like when we were in history class, right? And it was because they did a lot for like factory workers and things like that. Like, they basically are the reason why we don't have child labor. We have child labor laws now, and the reason why basically OSHA is a thing, why we have workplace safety. and make sure people are being paid properly and get the hours that they need, which is great. But now we're led to believe that unions aren't so much a good thing anymore because they hurt business.
Poor businesses.
Well, some of them, in some situations, it depends on the business. But in this particular case, and I'm not going to sit here and claim to know a lot about economics or business or what it means to be a union as opposed to not. But in this particular case, what I do know is that the game industry can be a very, very toxic work environment. From what we hear, that like crunch time, people working insane 80 to 100-hour work weeks. Divorces happening, people never getting to see their kids.
They always talk about that. Yeah, they're never home. They never get to see their families.
Yeah, and I mean, it doesn't surprise me with the way those schedules are. They got to appease the shareholders in some cases, And so, I mean, if unionizing means that these guys can get better hours and get themselves, the money that they deserve for working all that overtime, and means they get to see their families, then I'm perfectly fine with that. If it means that games need to take a little bit longer to go through development because, people want to go home and see their fucking kids, then I'm fine. I'm perfectly cool with that.
Of all the major entertainment industries, far and away, the video game industry and software, the entertainment software industry have some of the worst job security rates, period. It's pretty much a known thing. If you're going to go and develop video games and code and software and QA and all that stuff, it's not a matter of if, it's when you get laid off. When does your studio, decide that they need to replace you or whatever? It's not an if kind of thing. Very few people, and you would know them by name, have any type of job security where they, don't really answer to somebody. There's very few people that in the industry with thousands of employees. So I even know that, and I'm not a programmer. That's how ubiquitous that situation is.
Right, and after talking to a former game dev that worked at EA himself, I mentioned something about job security, and he's like, "What? Like job security? What the hell's that?" There is none.
No,
it's like it's a word that doesn't exist in
you're
the game
hired
world.
gun. It's so mercenary.
all these layoffs, like people are constantly getting layoffs. There's constantly studio closures. I mean, if you follow like gaming news even relatively closely, like any of us do, it's crazy. Almost every day you're seeing that this studio is laying off people, that company's laying off people, this studio's closing. Like it's just it's a normalized thing almost, and that's really scary if you're someone trying to get into the game industry.
Yeah. But I think that should kind of wrap up our discussion for the day. So I'm going to toss it over to Jack to give us our question of the week.
Gentlemen, it's a would you rather this week. And
yes,
I am very curious. Would you rather lose 7 inches of height or have half your intelligence and earning potential? Discuss.
7 inches.
You would lose 7 inches of your height. So would that make you 5 foot flat?
5 foot, yeah. Maybe
Wow.
5'1"-ish, but yeah.
You would rather do that than lose half your intelligence and your earning potential. You'd rather be a
I'm
5 foot
already-
man. You'd rather be Danny DeVito.
I'm already short as far as Americans go.
I wouldn't say 5'7" short. I'd say that's close to average.
It's on the shorter end of the spectrum, so fuck it.
Okay. Wow. All right.
Plus,
so you would lose
I'd
it.
be a little guy with big heart. And a magnum no, I'm kidding.
Whoa.
And a magnum dog. Anyway.
Oh, whoops, I dropped my monster condom for my
Condom
magnum dog.
You got to do Danny DeVito's voice though.
Oh, it smells like Danny DeVito's underboob. Anyway, I would easy 7 inches off my height. I mean,
Really?
dude,
Yeah,
I'm 6'2".
Yeah, it's fucking 6'2".
Like,
Oh,
I'm
man, I
6'2".
get to
I'd
be
6'7".
5'5".
Or I'd be
5'7".
5'7". I'd be
You're gonna be
5'7". That's
5'7".
not. I'd be where Robert is now. I'd be fine.
Yeah, fuck you.
I'd be fine. That's definitely beats the hell out of losing earning potential. I'm trying to go into the game industry here. There's not much earning potential to be had already.
Okay. Wow. I don't know. I think height carries a lot with it, man.
Aren't
I
you
think-
like fucking 6 foot something? Like
Me?
you'll be fine. Yeah.
I'm not 6. I wish I was 6 foot.
Oh,
I'm
you're like
5'11".
5'11", right? 5'10".
Yeah. I'm like, yeah, right around there.
Come on, fuck off. That's fine. You could lose 7 inches.
5'3"? Fuck no, I would not be no
on.
5'3". I'd be shorter than my wife.
Okay, so
I ain't having that.
that's not a big deal.
I don't know, guys. I'm just playing devil's advocate, but I'm just saying, like, 7 inches is a lot.
Look,
It changes the game. You might have to pick your movie theater seats a little bit better.
Look, I'm just I'm blessed to even be 5'7". I'm half Filipino. Like Filipino men are small. They tend to be pretty small in stature.
Diminutive.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm blessed to even be this tall. And if I have to like lose 7 inches to make my full income, like I'll do that. It's
That would
whatever.
suck. I would hate being 7 inches shorter. Oh,
I don't know. I would live if it meant I still get to be as smart as cool as I am now.
all right.
You know,
Smart.
They say that to be a CEO, you have to be over like 6'1", something like that. Like 90% of CEOs in America are like over 6'1".
oh, hey, funny that you say that because I'm totally going to be the CEO of Sony PlayStation one day, and I am 6'2". So
Fucking
look out,
hire
Sean
me,
Layden.
motherfucker, and we're starting a
Yeah.
union.
Look out, Sean Layden. I'm fucking coming for you, man.
All right.
I
All
love
right,
you,
that's
Sean.
it, guys. That's a wrap.
Oh, that's wild. All right. So, hey, if you enjoyed what we did on this show, hey, consider leaving us an iTunes review. That'd like really help us out way more than you know. If not, tell a friend. Shoot. I always have to come up with these on the spot, and I used to have like a list prepared, and I don't anymore.
Grab some stickers and then throw it at
No,
them.
okay, no, I got it. Okay, so go to your spam in your email box and reply to every one of them and just tell them, hey, I'll click your link if you listen to the Tiny Disc podcast,
Even the spam ones.
especially the spam ones.
I like the thought of the visual of you like all sweaty at a keyboard somewhere in a dark room, like just pounding out a list of these.
I mean, it's more like at night when I'm about to sleep, and sometimes I just think of, oh man, I wonder what the like. That's
That's
a
what you're
good
gonna say
one.
when you're about to spank it.
Like right before, like that's what gets me off thinking about
Oh.
these. Yeah, like
Yeah.
I'm a little chub right now just for
Wow.
that.
Wow.
While listening to a Japanese man do ASMR celebrity names.
So all the new listeners we got last week, now they're all gone now.
Yep.
After
Yeah,
that little
thanks.
visual.
It's good.
Swift.
Hey, and if you want to email us any questions, comments, concerns, feedback, or anything you want us to read live on this pre-recorded show, you can email us at tinydiscpodcast@gmail.com. You can also follow all of our social media links, and they are all found at our website, tinydisc.com. That's also where you can find all of our previous episodes, like the Terrace House episode spoiler cast we did last week.
Nice.
Thank you. So where can we find you guys online on the internet?
If you want to see me retweet things and get really excited and type in all caps and reply to them, you can follow me at Colin Amano, aka at @booboo__55.
At JACCEPEDA. You know what it is, Mr. Cepeda, if you are nasty.
And you can find me at Pinoptimist, PINOPTIMIST, on all the social medias, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, all that shit. So thank you so much for listening to the Tiny Disc Podcast, and we'll see you next Thursday.
Jesus Crisis.
Aspartame.
Aspartame.
Arby's, we have the meats.
You know,
I miss fucking Arby's.
it took me a really long time to realize that RB's is like RB, roast beef.
Yep. It's literally a phonetic spelling
It
of that
took me
shit.
such a
Yep.
fucking long time to realize that.
We should be recording this. Oh, we are.
We are.
I didn't know. Dude, I didn't know Arby's was RB until you just said that.
Revelation number 1 on today's show.
Holy shit.
Two revelations in one. One, RB. Two, we're recording.
Yeah, and I miss Arby's. I seriously, when I get back up there, I might have to make a special stop because
Is there not Arby's there?
hardly ever any. There's like one or two in the whole city. There's
Well,
not a
then
lot
again-
of fast food here. Period.
Like why? Yeah, but then again, you're in Texas. Why the fuck would you eat Arby's when you get Texas
I like
barbecue?
Arby's roast beef.
I do too. I
I don't do the Arby's sauce. I'm one of weirdos that just eats the meat and the bread. That's it. It's flavorful enough to me. Do you guys have to sauce it up with cheese or what?
I've never been a fan of their horsey sauce. I kind of don't get that personally.
I'm fine with it, but it's not necessary. I can just do the straight up shaved meat and the fucking bread. That's it. I'll rock it.
I like their sauces a lot. I'm a big fan of the beef and cheddar.
And they got the turnovers that are really good. Yes. And I think they have fried they have some like kind of jalapeno poppers with like some jelly. Do you guys know about that?
No,
It's jalapeno peppers with jelly.
It's like it's a jalapeno with sour cream, and it's deep fried, and then you dip it in like this sweet like jelly, like this raspberry sauce or some shit like that. I'm serious. It's good too.
I don't know. Like I don't go to Arby's enough for me. Like I don't know their menu that like I just know roast beef on a sandwich. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Giant
I like
sandwiches.
Arby's a lot. I don't eat it there too often, and I think that's why I hold it in high regard still. But yeah, I remember. I don't know why this popped into my head, but so I was when I was working here at the apartment complex, my boss told me a story about a dude who ate at Arby's. He worked with this dude who ate at Arby's like 2-3 times a fucking day.
Shit, supersize me.
Yeah, because they lived or worked right next to one, and it was like the closest nearest restaurant to where they worked, and every other restaurant was really far away. So dude would eat Arby's like twice a day. Next thing you know, he goes in like he comes down with some sort of fucking I can't remember if he had like a heart attack. I think he might have had a heart attack, and turns out he was taking just in a crazy amount of sodium because of eating all that Arby's. Just like an ungodly amount of salt. Yeah. Like
right.
And next thing you know, dude fucking just heart attack.
Oh. That's a sad ending.
That's a great note for us.
He's not dead. He's not dead. He lived to tell the tale.
Isn't
but
there
that motherfucker
restaurant?
that motherfucker ain't eating Arby's anytime soon.
Isn't there that place in Vegas called like the Heart Attack like grill or something like that, I think, and like 3 people have legitimately died there. Like there's a special table in like the front and center, and if you're like over 300 pounds you eat for free there, but everyone just has to sit there and watch you eat.
That sounds so uncomfortable. What?
Dude, people go.
Yeah.
You don't know about this place? Like
No.
they're all dressed up like as nurses, and it's all like a hospital, and you have to go in there wearing like a like one of those gowns and shit. And 3 people have passed away eating burgers there.
That's one of the most fetishy fucking restaurants I've ever heard.
People fucking died there. People are still going.
God, that kind of makes me feel gross as an American.
I know. Pretty sure you have to sign a waiver, but like it's called the Heart Attack Grill. You need to look this up. Fuck.
Wait, that's not the same place that started the whole like serving burgers on a donut, is it?
I'm sure they have
bagels?
that. I'm sure they have that,
Yeah.
but I don't think they started it.
Are
Stop.
you talking about burger bagels, perhaps?
Burger.
Bagel, dude.
No.
Okay. Do you guys want to start the show though?
Yeah, let's go.
Okay.
Let's do a thing.